think there is $0. And so what it is the illusion, oh well, but if we don't pay now, we're certainly going to pay later and make up the difference. Okay? It's just an illusion because it is an election year. And if you would go and take these down, this pretty much will explain it. And it reads, 0 tax increase in Teaneck's '08 budget. Do you believe in the tooth fairy too? Now I want to begin what I want to speak about. I'm a bit nervous as usual, and sometimes recovering from having had a stroke, my tongue gets a little twisted. But I feel very passionate, and I spoke to a resident. He said, make sure you leave the passion out of it. I'm going to try, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to try to be as calm as possible and leave my passion out of it. But the reality is that there are desperate attempts to infiltrate and take over our town. And I repeat myself, desperate attempts for outsiders to take over our town, and if they succeed, we will look like Edgewater, Fort Lee, Atkinson, and now Inglewood. So what we have in common, we want to preserve the integrity and the fabric of our community. And we should demand no less than that from our elected officials. I want to speak about ethics a bit, and I know someone covered it, but I want to really get into this. Because it's just not a matter that we want to picking on Team Teaneck. Actually, some of those members have questionable ethics and integrity. And we have a right as taxpayers, voters, citizens, to request higher standards of our elected officials. As far as the mayor is concerned, I think it's in poor taste because he shouldn't be the mayor of all the people, but instead, he chooses to try to affect the outcome of our electoral process. He injected himself in order to control the outcome of the election when it was not necessary. What he needed to do was to allow the process to flow and respect the will of the people. It's quite offensive to our form of government and to our intelligence, first of all, to receive this document, and when we turn it over, it's a fundraiser. But actually it speaks to many things that all of our council members sitting on the dais deserve credit for. Because our form of government is manager strong, mayor weak. He has no more power than any other person sitting up there on that council. So when they boast about all of the many things that are going to occur or may have occurred and should be attributed to the entire council, but when we flip over the page, these two gentlemen, Mr. Muhammad and Mr. Robinson, are not even on there. In fact, Mr. Muhammad, who boasts about his position on the planning board, is actually an alternate. And Mr. Robinson, according to my calculations, have not been to a council meeting, but maybe even once, and that was at 10 o'clock at night, in a good 5 or better years. He has no clue about what is really going on in our council. But speaking about Mr. Robinson, it was a strategic move and thought to be clever, but not, because we're smarter than that, to try and split our vote. And that's not working. So what they're doing now is primarily sending out negative material in the Northeast. And I'm particularly offended by the fact that on everything else, and I'm going to repeat it, with everything else that we have received, Teaneck's picture appears, all three gentlemen. I think it's offensive, and I think it's racist to just put Mr. Robinson. And even more offensive is to name our religious institution on this filth here. It's disrespectful. And for many of you who didn't receive this, I will read what it says. Monica Honus didn't care about our fortune. Revaluation will cause taxes to skyrocket. This is coming from Teaneck. But the cowards failed to put the rest of their pictures down. When she voted for the property revaluation that raises your taxes by up to 200%. Lies. Monica Honus voted to raise taxes by over $10 million. Not true. In just 4 years. And on her watch, spending skyrocketed to a whopping 30%. Monica Honus got a lot of power for Maybe it's because Monica Honus does not own a home and pays no property tax herself. My question is, how do they know that?